myself H.S. Pandey from JNV Prayagraj. In this lecture, we have to study about real number part second. In this lecture, we have to study first SCF as a linear combination. Second part is terminating decimal. Third part is proof of under root 2, under root 3, under root 5 and as a irrational number. So first of all, we have to learn about the linear combination as SCF. Suppose that there are two numbers 275 and 35. First of all, we have to find out the SCF of these two numbers. SCF of these, first of all, you have to use division method. 275 divided by 35 हो जाएगा 35 7 जा 7 5 जा 35 7 3 21 21 3 24 0 3 then 35 divided by 30 1 जा 30 then 5 then 30 divided by 5 that is equal to 6 6 5 6 जा 30 that is 0. Now this 275 is equal to 35 into 7 plus 30. Now 35 will play the role of A. 35 is equal to this will come here, that is 30 into 1 plus 5. Now 30 will again play the role of A. Now 30 is equal to this 5 will play the role of B. 5 into 6 plus 0. I have told previously that at the stage where the remainder becomes 0, the remainder just above the 0, that will be SCF. Or you can say in the step where the remainder becomes 0, the value of B, that is 5, that will play the role of SCF. Here SCF is equal to 5. Now this is with the help of using Euclid's division lemma. 275 is equal to 35 into 7 plus 30. Again 35 will play the role of A and 30 will play the role of B, and then 35 is equal to 30 into 1 plus 5. Again 30 will play the role of A and 5 will play the role of B. Now 30 is equal to 5 into 6 plus 0. Now the step at which the remainder becomes 0, the value of B will play the role of SCF. Or you can say, for removing the confusion, the remainder at just above the 0, that will also be SCF. Now our aim is to just correlate these two numbers with this much, this SCF. Now for just comparing with this number to the given number, we had to go from second step, just above the 0 step. Here this 5 will be written as, that is 5 is equal to 35 minus 30 into 1. This 5 is equal to 35 minus 30 into 1. Now we have to remove 30 from the above step. Now here, 30 into 1. Now this is 35 minus 30. 30 can be written as this minus this. That is 275 minus 35 into 7. Now this can be written as 35 minus 270. Here it is 1. So 1 can be multiplied with the same value. So we have to omit this. Now 35 minus 275 minus plus 35 into 7. Now we observe that our aim is to give the relationship between 275 and 35. So we have to collect the quotient of 35 and 275. Now this is equal to 35, here it is 1. यहाँ पर 35 1 है और यहाँ 35 7 है. So this can be written as 35 into 8 minus 275. This can also be written as 35 into 8 plus 275 into -1, because our aim is to write the given number in the positive and the quotient in negative if possible, if it is required. So this can again be arranged 275 into -1 plus 35 into 8. This is known as linear combination of SCF with the given number. If it is asked in the question that if 5 can be written as 5 is equal to 275m plus 35m, then we can compare m is equal to -1 and n is equal to 8. Now this is the value of m and n if the expression is given in this form and we have obtained the expression in this form. So once again, if these two numbers are given, first of all we have to find out the SCF with the help of Euclid's division lemma, and then we have to correlate with these numbers with the SCF. So for this we have to start from the remainder just above the 0. Here 5 is the remainder, so here 5 is also the SCF. So we have to start 5 is equal to 35 minus 30 into 1. Again 30 is replaced by the first above relation, that is 275 minus 35 into 7 into 1. So when 1 is multiplied, it will give the same value. Now 35 minus 275 into 1, that is 275, minus into minus plus 35 into 7. Now collect the quotient of 35. 35 here it is 1 times, 35 here it is 7 times. So 35 become 8 times. So 35 into 8 minus 275. This can again be arranged 35 into 8 plus 275 into -1. Now this can again be arranged 5 is equal to 275 into -1 plus 35 into 8. Suppose this 5 is given in this form, 275m, 5 is equal to 275m plus 35m. So if we compare this relation and this one, we can say the value of m is equal to -1 and the value of n is equal to 8. This was the relationship between the number with the SCF. Now the second thing is terminating decimal. Terminating decimal. Terminating decimal. Terminating decimal. Let x be a rational number. X be a rational number and it is written in the form of P by Q, where P, Q are co-prime and Q is not equal to 0. If it is terminating, if the given rational number is terminating, then Q must be of the form 2 power m into 5 power m, where m, n are non-negative integers. Here let us suppose here our aim is to find the terminating decimal. Let x be a rational number that it can be written in the form of p by q, where p, q are co-prime. Co-prime means that has no common factor, and q is not equal to 0. It will terminate only when q is of the form of 2 power n into 5 power n, where m, n are non-negative integer. Non-negative means it may be positive or 0. M and n can also attain the value 0, but here the value of m and n that will not be negative. So here if p upon q is terminating, then the factor of q must contain either 2 or 5 or 2 and 5 both. Otherwise any just number will be written except that, or if the denominator contains the prime number, then that rational number will never be terminate. For example, let us suppose that 4 upon 20. 4 upon 20 means that is called 4 1 ja 4 5 ja. Now this is 1 upon 5. This can be written as 1 upon 2 power 0 into 5 power 1. Now here 2 is not there, only 5 is here, so it will terminate. But if it is written as 4 upon 26, or you can say into 7, you get 2 1 ja 2, 2 2 ja 4, 2 13 ja. Now this is equal to 2 upon 13 into 7. Here the value of q is 13 and 7. Both are prime numbers. So 2 upon 13 into 7, that will never terminate. I mean to say is that if there is a terminating decimal, then it is possible only when we solve p upon q in the lowest form, and we observe that the value of q must contain 2 and 5, or 2 only, or 5 only, but there is no any prime number. This is only the possible. Otherwise the rational number will not be terminating, or you can say that will be non-terminating decimal. It may repeat or it may recur, but will not terminate. Now this one about the terminating decimal and non-terminating. Now the next thing is, let p be a prime number and a be an integer. If a square is divisible by p, then a is also divisible by p. Here let a be a prime number and let p be a prime number and a be any integer. If a square is divisible by p, then a is also divisible by p. Let us suppose one example, p is equal to 3 and a square is equal to 36. Here 36 is divisible by 3. 36 divided by 3, that is equal to 4. Now square root of a square, that is a is equal to 6 and p is equal to 3. Now 6 is divided by 3, that is equal to 2. Here we can observe that p is a prime number and a square is divisible 30. I have taken 36. 36 is divisible by, if 36 is divisible by 3, then and only then the square root of this 36 is also divisible by 3. Suppose p is equal to 7 and a square is equal to 36. Now 36 is not divisible by 7. So 6 square root. So square root of 36 is not divisible by 7. So in this way we can say this statement how a square of a constant integer is divisible by a prime number and how it is not divisible by a prime number. So this condition hold good. Now to prove under root 2 is irrational, here we have to use this proof with the help of trial method. Let under root 2 is rational. Therefore, if under root 2 is rational, then under root 2 can be written in the form of p by q. Therefore, under root 2 is equal to p by q, where p, q are prime number. Where p, q are co-prime. Where p, q are co-prime, that p and q have no common factor and q is not equal to 0. Squaring both sides, we get 2 is equal to p square upon q square. Kirchhoff cross multiplication, or p square is equal to 2q square. Thus p square has a factor 2, that is p square is divisible by 2. P square is divisible by 2. Therefore p is also divisible by 2. Therefore p is also divisible by 2. If p square is divisible by 2, then p is also divisible by 2. So p can be written in the form of, therefore p must be written as 2m. Now here p square is equal to 2q square. P square is equal to 2q square and p is equal to 2m. With help of these two relations from 1 and 2, from equation 1 and 2, we get, in place of p we have to write 2m. Here 2m whole square, that is equal to 2q square, or 4m square, that is equal to 2q square, or 4m square is equal to 2q square, or q square is equal to 2m square. Again q square is divisible by 2. Divisible by 2. Thus q is also divisible by 2. Divisible by 2. Thus p and q have common factor. Thus p and q both have common factor as 2. Common factor as 2. But as per assumption, PQ are co-prime. PQ are co-prime, which contradict our assumption. Which contradict our assumption. Hence under root 2 is irrational. irrational. Hence under root 2 is irrational. Again let us observe once again. Let under root 2 is rational number. So under root 2 is equal to p upon q. It can be written in the form of p by q, where p, q are co-prime and q is not equal to 0. We have supposed that under root 2 is rational. So this can be written in this form. So squaring both sides, we will get 2 is equal to p square upon q square, or we can say p square is equal to 2q square. Again here p square is equal to 2q square. It means p square has a factor 2 and a factor q square. So p square is divisible by 2. If p square is divisible by 2, then p is also divisible by 2. So if p is divisible by 2, then p can be written as p is equal to 2m. Now from the relation 1 and 2, if we put the value of p in 1, we will get 4m square is equal to 2q square. And now 4m square is equal to 2q square. Then q square is equal to 2m square. Now again if q square, here q square is divisible by 2, then q is also divisible by 2. Thus we observe that by taking under root 2 as a rational number, we observe that p and q both has common factor 2. But pq are co-prime, which contradicts our assumption. Hence under root 2 is irrational. That's all. Similarly, we can prove under root 3 and under root 5. Now take one example, take another example. Prove 5 plus under root 3 is irrational. So first of all, we have to prove that under root 3 is irrational, and then we add irrational number 5, and after that we know that the sum of rational and irrational is irrational. There are two ways, one by singular method, the other one by using under root 3 as irrational, and then we have to proceed. For example, here let under root 3 is rational, then under root 3 is equal to p upon q, where p, q are co-prime and q is not equal to 0. Now here I have taken under root 3 is equal to p upon q, because it is we have supposed that it is rational. So here p, q are co-prime. That it means p and q have no common factor, and q is not equal to 0. Squaring both sides, we get 3 is equal to p square upon q square, or p square is equal to 3q square. That is, p square is divisible by 3, or p is divisible by 3. Let us take p is equal to, let p is equal to 3m from this equation, and second one from first and second, from equation first and second, we have to put the value of p in equation 1. We get 3m whole square, that is equal to 3q square, or 9m square is equal to 3q square, or 3m square is equal to q square. Now, or we can say rq square is equal to 3m square. Again, q square is divisible by 3. Or q is divisible by 3. From the above, we have seen that P and Q both are divisible by 3. That is 3 is common factor of P and Q, which contradicts our assumption. Which contradicts our assumption. Hence, under root 3 is irrational. Now, sum of rational and irrational is irrational. Therefore, 5 plus under root 3 is irrational. Here, our aim is to prove that 5 plus under root 3 is irrational. We have taken under root 3 as irrational, and then under root 3 can be written in the form of P by Q, where P, Q are co-prime and Q is not equal to 0. We have squared both sides. We have got P square is equal to 3Q square. In the previous knowledge, we know that P square is divisible by 3. So, P is also divisible by 3. If P is divisible by 3, then P can be written in the form of P is equal to 3m. From this and first and second, if we put the value of P equal to 3m in the first, we will get 3m whole square is equal to 3q square, or 9m square is equal to 3q square, or 3m square is equal to q square, or q square is equal to 3m square. Again, q square is divisible by 3, or q is divisible by 3. From the above, we are saying that P and Q both has common factor 3. That is, 3 is common factor of PQ, which contradicts our assumption because we have supposed that PQ are co-prime. So, under root 3 is irrational. Now, we know that sum of rational as well as irrational is irrational. So, 5 plus under root 3 is irrational. So, this is all about the proof. Similarly, you can prove under root 5 is irrational, and other questions can be solved with the help of this much. Thank you.